Just before the postseason got underway, Rochester and Lake Orion fought off. Rochester winning at Rochester 25-45. Hello, everybody. I'm Lyndon Potter, joined by my co-host Daniel Babcock. Daniel, I know you commentated the game earlier in the season at Lake Orion when Rochester played them. What did you see in that game, and how did Rochester have such a dominant performance in that game as well?
Well, when I commentated that game, first half was a very tightly contested defensive affair. They were tied at halftime going into the game, going into half. And so, but Rochester, they came out in the second half, and they just absolutely dominated at both ends of the floor. On offense, they used Kylie Robinson and Alice Max. They're two huge forwards to dominate on the offensive end, down low on the post. And on defense, they were getting blocks and coming up with rejections all night.
Now, something with the district finals now taking place in Lake Orion, Michigan is the obvious home field advantage. You guys just saw a glimpse of him. The Dragon is back, Daniel.
First time since the start of COVID. You know, I think he'll have a big impact. He's the one who's going to be running the student section. He's going to be getting them going. And I think that the home advantage for Lake Orion and having the Dragon along with this large student section will make a huge difference.
This Lake Orion team is just coming off a massive W against Stony Creek, 32-30. Game, I wouldn't call it a game winner. The game winner for Stony Creek was missed, but it did come down to the wire, and this student section played a massive role. It was the biggest I've ever seen for girls basketball this season, and now it's even bigger with the mascot out. It's going to be definitely a great advantage. But on the Rochester side, this isn't a shabby student section.
No, not at all. And, you know, both schools know that their team is playing for a lot tonight. District championship on the line. So obviously Rochester's going to show out. Coming off a big win against Ike, who, when I watched them in the first round of districts, I thought that they were going to be a sleeper team. A lot of great shooters on that squad, but they're still young, so.
Yeah, lose or go home, so you, of course, got to show out to the game. Now, this Rochester student section, I'd say that's even average, above average for a regular season home game for the Dragons. Would you agree?
I would say so. I mean, especially now that COVID's over, I think a lot more students are really starting to come to the games again. So I think that it's about the same size as a regular game would be for the Dragons.
That tip-off will be won by Rochester. That was Alice Max, the freshman. This Rochester squad has a duo of freshmen, Alice Max and Kylie Robinson, who have really been running this thing and will be here to stay for 3 more years. That's Robinson now. Back out to Max.
Loud crowd in the student section from the Dragons. Already getting the defense chant going after the opening tip.
That pass was down to Max, and that'll roll right into the student section. Dragons ball now.
Dragons student section coming out tonight. They are loud to start.
Ebert, obviously the team MVP, has my vote for the Dragons. She's had a great year. Did have a very minimal scoring game on Stony Creek. However, the Dragons did get away with the win. That's a steal there. Looks might be a jump ball. They will call it possession arrow. We'll say it. It will stay with Lake Orion.
Rochester student section getting into it a little bit there after that jump ball was called. Even though it stays with Lake Orion, the possession arrow flips back over to Rochester. So a great play by them.
Ebert. Now to Wiegers, number 12. Goes toward the basket, back out to Heck for 3. No good, too much on that one. Rebounded there by 15, Abby Brightshoe. Three there from Pleasant. No good. And there'll be a foul there on the court.
Dragons bench up and standing after that foul call. You heard the air ball chants after that missed 3 in the corner there. The Dragons are going to be ready for that.
If I know anything about Dragon Faithful is they love an air ball, especially on their side by the other team. That will not be let go for that player.
Absolutely not.
Pleasant will be hearing about that one all night. Dinda with it. That's Peplowski in the corner. Dinda, she falls to the ground. That is a foul.
Second foul already for the Falcons. I mean, they're just over a minute and a half in. At this rate, Dragons might be shooting free throws by the end of the quarter.
Ebert with it. Hands it off to Dinda. That is knocked out of there. That was 21, Robinson. Dragons keep it. Heck Throws it around. That pass is stolen. Robinson got a hand on it and ends up with it. And that's a travel call. That's a great job by Wiegers, having protection, almost playing corner man-on-man defense there. And as soon as she puts her hands up to block that pass, catches the player stumbling.
Great job by Wiegers. We could tell that number 21, Kyler Robinson, was not expecting her to pick up in the near full court.
Peplowski, back around to Ebert. Gets the pick from Heck. Now to Dinda. Toward the basket, loses it. Opposition there by Max.
A lot of contact there, but no foul called.
Bright shoe with it. Heck almost gets that one. She rolls on the floor. They will call that as a foul.
Playoff P, Ryan Pawalczyk checking into the game for the Dragons. Had a huge game in their district quarterfinal matchup against Rochester Adam, where she earned her nickname Playoff P despite only being a sophomore.
Even against Stony Creek, had a great second quarter. That is a 3 there. No good. Norgrove tried that one, and that'll be good.
Boing, boing. That one falls for the and one from Abby Brightshoe.
And the and one, she will be shooting another one. Van Heck, the senior, struggled with injuries all season, didn't get her first minutes until senior night. Has been proven useful in the playoffs. Let's see how these free throws will go with the Dragon faithful right in front of her. Does not phase Brightshoe, sinks that one.
Coach Bridges going with a bigger lineup here as he puts in Ryan Pawalczyk and Katie Van Heck, two of their taller players for the Dragons, and that's to try and stop Alice Max and Kylie Robinson.
Even to get the free throws down in the paint. Forward players, Ebert toward the basket, but it's blocked. And that's a foul. She'll be shooting 2.
Now, I'm already starting to see shades of a previous Rochester Lake Orion matchup. It looks like what the Dragons are trying to do is their drive and kick technique.
Ebert is not phased. Puts that one right in the basket for 1 extra point. Puts Dragons on the board as well. And another.
Another free throw shooter completely unfazed by the opposing student section, even though they're carrying the Jolly Roger flag over there on the Falcon side.
Ebert is maybe the last player I'd want to foul on this Dragon offense to have them going to the line. And that'll be a foul on Pawalczyk, it looks like. Yep, number 40.
Already 6 fouls called, and we're just over 3 minutes into the game.
This is definitely going to be a gritty game.
That's exactly the matchup that the Dragons want to get into. We all know that Bob Bridges' coach team are the gritty ones.
That's Pleasant. Back with Robinson. Jump shot there. Pleasant. Off bank and good. Eagles now up 3. Ebert with it. Now to Van Heck. Pawalczyk going toward the basket, throws it out. That's stolen. Brightshoe. Robinson now around to Norgrove. Norgrove trying to get around Wiegers. She'll pass it down to the paint to Brightshoe. She won't be able to finish. Ball will stay with the Falcons. Looks to be Natalie Race throwing this one in. Down under with Robinson, now around. Race with it now. At the top with Norgrove. Elena Webb. And that'll be a foul. They'll be throwing this one in again. That's on Ebert of the Dragons.
Checking in now is Ava Williams for the Falcons. She's subbing out Abby Pleasant.
Now Abby Pleasant was the one receiving the air ball chance. Wonder if that'll affect her mentality going in later in this game. We'll have to wait and see, Danny.
We have seen her make a basket ever since that air ball. So I wonder if that got the thought of that air ball out of her head, and she just has a clear conscience now.
Race. No good. Rebounded by Dinda. Wiegers with it. Gets it around to Pawalczyk. Great defense there by the Falcons. Now around to Wiegers.
Falcons student section starting to get into a bit of defense champ themselves.
Pawalczyk at the line. Back to Ebert. Wiegers. Dragons have yet to get a clear shot. Pawalczyk finds Dinda, goes toward the basket, puts it up, and it's good, and one! She's headed to the line for an extra point.
Dragon Faithful is super excited about that one. Taylor Dinda gets the Dragons' first made basket of the game and goes to the free throw line for one more shot.
Has the chance to tie it up here in the Coliseum.
Jody McCaffrey and Grace Sullivan checking in for the Dragons. Grace Sullivan, fast player on the team, player that Coach Bridges said might be the fastest girl he's ever met.
Dindas will be no good, taken in by the defense. Pass over. Webb almost lost it. She hits the ground. Williams. Now to Webb. She loses it again. Butterfingers on her, and Ebert has it now. Dinda under the basket, puts it up, and one once more.
Back to back and ones. How about that, Taylor Dinda?
Dinda returns to the line now. 0 for 1 so far. Changes the tide and puts that one right in.
Dragons get their first lead of the game.
Down to Race, now to Webb. And that is stripped. Lake Orion ball.
What a great play from Jody McCaffrey. She let her girl get behind her, but races all the way back down the floor to knock it out and get possession back.
And that is a timeout taken right there.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Lake Orion High School Dragon Broadcast Program. You can watch LOHS sports and events all year. That includes varsity softball, lacrosse, and soccer throughout the spring. It costs less than $11 per month to watch sporting events, and nearly half of the subscription money goes back to our LOHS program. Tune in online at www.dragonbroadcasting.org.
Daniel, the decibels here in the Coliseum might be breaking record for at least 3 years.
At least, ever since the COVID shutdown, I can't remember a game that was this big, even though the last time I remember a student section being that full, just for Lake Orion side, was back in 2018 in a boys basketball playoff game against the Oxford Wildcats.
Crosstown rivals, playoffs. Of course it was going to be big there, but it's big here in the Coliseum for girls playoffs, and that's stolen. Race now with Webb. Under the basket, that's Williams. No doubt about it.
The Dragons just forgot to guard her. Avery Williams, smart play to make the back check and gets the easy bucket.
McCaffrey with the quick break. Pawalczyk under the basket, passes it out to Dinda. McCaffrey. And she'll lose it. Reeled in by Bright Shoe. Now with the pass to Race. She'll wait for her teammates to catch up, and now with Webb. Bright Shoe. Open look here for Williams. Won't be able to capitalize. Foul. This will be baseline.
The foul was called on Jody McCaffrey. She was trying to box out Elena Webb down there on the block, and it looked like Webb went over her back. However, the refs made the call, and they're sticking with it.
Audrey Wishmeyer now checking in. Wishmeyer electric from outside the arc.
She's taking out the Dragons' leading scorer so far tonight, Taylor Dinda. Already 5 of the team's 7 points.
Bright shoe. Dumps it off. Throws it around to Webb. Webb. Now to Race. Race for 3.
Body's hitting the deck.
Ball is up. Caught by the tall Alice Max. Jump ball. Rochester will keep it.
Playoff P doing the nitty-gritty. Ryan Pawalczyk instead of trying to knock the ball out of Max's hands, she just goes for the jump ball and gets it.
Inbound, stolen. Wishmeyer has it. Wishmeyer now with Ebert. Just under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Pawalczyk at the line. Now, McCaffrey for 3. And that one's going to be an air ball. And Rochester rebuttals with the air ball chance. Bright shoe. Down to Webb. Quick pass over to Williams. Now under the basket, fouled, but that's Max.
Looks like they're going to get Wishmeyer on the foul. Never mind, it's going to be Maddie Everett that gets called.
Alice Max is headed to the line to shoot 2.
Already 6 fouls committed by the Dragons. 1 more, and Rochester's going to be in the bonus shooting 1-1 in the first quarter.
First one. In and out.
Chloe Wiegers and Olivia Peplowski checking for the Dragons, taking out Jody McCaffrey and Maddie Everett.
Second round. Swish. Now just 21 seconds in this first quarter. Sullivan weaves her way through. Wiegers down to Peplowski. She cannot hang on.
A beautiful play by Sullivan to push it up the court through the double team to Wiegers. Wiegers, a nice pass, Peplowski just could not handle it, however.
Under 15 seconds. They'll need a quick one. Race, throws it to Webb. Webb, foot was in the line, that would have been 2. That's a foul.
And that's going to be the 6th foul on Rochester as well. Both teams just 1 away from giving the other the bonus and having the other team shoot 1-and-1 free throws, at least for the rest of the quarter.
As quick-paced as this first quarter has been, expect the second quarter to slow down a little bit as we'll be getting a lot more free throws, a lot more stoppage of the clock, and slowing this pace down.
Stevie Norgrove came into the game for the Falcons.
Sullivan, 1 second, and there will be no shot as Webb stole that one right before the buzzer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great one here in the Coliseum. Rochester up just 1 over the Lake Orion Dragons. We'll see you after this short break.
Thanks, Lyndon. I really appreciate it. Superstitions is a big factor coming in here for Lake Orion Dragons. I heard that head coach Bob Bridges is even wearing the same outfit that he did on the upset win over Stony Creek Cougars on Wednesday night. Let's hope that he can continue to do that and see if the wins keep coming. Lyndon?
Well, as you just saw the debut of our sideline cam, yeah, Bob Bridges is a superstitious guy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and it's whatever works, really. He's won the last 2 games, first 2 wins at Lake Orion in the playoffs. And, I mean, you got something, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the players beforehand, and Bob Bridges, he doesn't even want talk of next week. He's a one day at a time kind of player. Mention regionals, he tells you to shut up. We are right here in the moment. District finals against Rochester here in the Coliseum. Let's get underway. Uyghurs. Back to Peplowski. Toward the basket, she'll lose it again. Rochester ball.
Peplowski, the senior, has to be kicking herself. That's back-to-back possessions, even though it was split up by the corner, where she lost the ball out of bounds. As she gets subbed out of the game for sophomore Lexi Stroshine.
Robinson with it. At the top of your screen now. Gets the pick. Back down to Norgrove for three. That one's good.
Kylie Robinson, that's why she's so impactful. Can play the point forward where she can bring the ball up and then pass like that to her three-point shooters.
Kowalczyk tore the paint, puts it up, and one again.
Playoff P. She has earned that nickname for herself with plays like that. Another and one coming from her.
Never seen quite a player evolve in the playoffs, step up to the challenge, step up to the competition, step up to the spotlight, other than Ryan Kowalczyk.
She has definitely seen her playing time skyrocket here in these 3 games in the playoffs so far because of her performance.
And remember, Kowalczyk, just a sophomore, back for another 2 years despite how this season goes. She'll put her name on the map here pretty soon, if not already.
Ryan Kowalczyk, definitely a name that is going to be known across the state, especially if she can keep up these amazing playoff performances throughout her whole entire career.
Shooting just one. No good. Rebounded there by Robinson. Robinson in the corner to race. Three!
Tremendous shot there from Natalie Race. See, that's exactly what the Falcons want to do. They want to drive in and kick it out to their shooters.
Now back to Race again. Puts it up. That one's going to be short.
Even though Race did just sing a three-pointer, the air ball right there, and the Dragon faithful letting her know about it.
Kowalczyk three. Air ball, too much on that one. And that one's going to be baseline, throwing it in.
I believe that should be actually 1-and-1 free throws for the Dragons. As that is Rochester's 8th foul of this first half already.
Stroshine is good. She'll get another. Yeah, you're right, Danny. We are in the bonus. This will be 1-and-1 from here for the foreseeable future until they get a couple more fouls under their belt.
Grace Sullivan checking back into the game for the Dragons, taking out playoff P.
2 for 2.
Even though it already is the second quarter, those felt like some clutch free throws there from Stroshine, Linden.
No doubt about that one, Danny. Norgrove has it. That's Race for three. Air ball. Not her first one.
It looks like the Dragon student section is getting into Natalie Race's head a little bit, as back-to-back air balls there from her. She liked that shot. It was pretty open, just missed everything.
Uyghurs working on Robinson here. Sullivan to Wishmeyer. Wishmeyer makes a move. Now to Uyghurs in the corner. That's been too short off iron. Escaping there is Abby Pleasant. Gets that pass away. That'll be a foul there. Going to the line, 1-and-1.
Elena Webb will be shooting these ones. First one. Will be good. Second one follows suit. And there's an attempt for a quick break by the Dragons. This will be halted by the Falcons' timeout, however.
More high school games than ever before can be seen live every week on the MHSAA TV website. The school broadcast program continues to grow with more and more schools using the NFHS Network's automatic production solution, Pixelot, to show games. And during postseason tournaments, over 700 hours of championship action will be available this year. Check it out on MHSAA.tv.
Daniel, these Dragons came into this quarter down 1, now down 5. What has changed and really given this Rochester team the momentum to go up 5?
Well, Rochester's just starting to play their game. They're playing the game that they want to play, which is they want to get it inside to their two tall players, Alex Madison and Kylie Robinson, and force the Dragons defense to collapse. And if they don't, then their tall players are just going to absolutely body the Dragons defenders and go up with it. But if they do, then they are able to kick it out to their three-point shooters.
Wiegers out of the timeout with it. Wishmeyer for 3. And an air ball on that one. We've seen him a lot. We see one again. Robinson over to Webb. Webb for 3. No doubt about it. 3 points for Rochester.
Already 5 points here in the quarter for Elena Webb.
Wiegers. Wiegers now goes into the paint. Wishmeyer, she'll try again. Audrey, swish, Wishmeyer.
Alakazam, absolutely magical shot there from Wishmeyer.
Cutting down the lead again, back to 5. Robinson. And she'll lose it. Seemed to hold possession, and she will get the jump ball.
Surprised that there was no foul there as Kyler Robinson hit the deck hard as she was driving in.
Rochester will keep it here at baseline. She'll toss it over to Norgrove, now with Webb. Webb at the free throw line, gives it out. Inside the line, no good. Sullivan, deep under her own basket. Passed this one out to Wiegers, and she'll cross the half-court line. But some moves. Wishmeyer again. That one's going to be too far to the right, off iron. Rebounded there by Race.
Dragons fan letting her know about her 2 air balls.
And that pass finds a ghost. No one will have that one.
Looked like she was seeing Casper over there on the wing.
Dragons will have this one just over halfway left in this quarter. Wiegers gets the pick from Stroshine. Now to Sullivan. Enters, gives it back out. Wishmeyer. Back around to Wiegers. Wishmeyer goes up, puts it up. Air ball on that one again. That ball stays with the Dragons as she goes to the line.
Wishmeyer staying with her own shot, able to get the rebound in the foul as she was trying to take it back up.
Now, rare sight, Wishmeyer entering the paint and putting that one up.
That one definitely did befuddle a lot of our Lake Orion Dragon fans back at home. Not very often she does that, usually stays outside the three-point line.
Wishmeyer, a very accurate shooter, but won't get that free throw. Dragons keep it. Wishmeyer down at the baseline, throws it out. Bounce pass into Stroshine. Her shot will be too much. Norgrove now coming down the court.
Dinda looked like she fell asleep for a second there in the corner, and she did not try to come and get that rebound until it was already grabbed by Norgrove.
That ball almost stolen by Stroshine. Wiegers will finish the job. Wiegers goes up. How about another 2 points here for Dragons?
No foul call there. A lot of contact, however, just did not get the whistle to blow.
Webb will connect with Race. And that's a foul there on Stroshine. We'll welcome Webb back to the line.
I think that might have been a new shade of red that I saw on Coach Bridges' face after that foul call. Boy, was he upset at his sophomore forward.
You think you've seen all the shades of red, but Coach Bridges always comes out with a surprise. Webb. Her 1-and-1 shot is good. Sullivan forgetting it's a 1-and-1. Second one, no good, and that one's gonna be out of here. Dragons ball.
Extremely heads-up play from Taylor Dinda as she was falling out of bounds. Bounces it right off the hip of Kylie Robinson so that the Dragons are able to keep possession.
High IQ by her, but Wiegers has it now. Now it's Sullivan. Wiegers down in the corner to Wishmeyer. Wishmeyer, open look for three. That one does not fall. Offensive rebound by Katie Van Heck, who enters the game. Sullivan will hit backboard.
Two pretty good looks there that the Dragons just were not able to knock down.
Norgrove has his. We have 2 minutes left in this first half. Webb, that's a foul on a Dragon. Webb goes back to the line.
Webb is not the player you want to send to the line. 3 for 4 from the line in this second quarter alone.
Webb does not increase that 75%, but gets another shot. We're now in the the bonus. Double bonus. Rebuttals with that one, though.
It looked like the more excited the Dragon faithful got, the more calm Webb was as she was able to knock down that second one.
Dinda has trouble finding a Dragon, will knock it off herself. Hits a Rochester player, looks like on its way out though, hit her. The Falcons will keep this one.
Dinda tried to go for her move again of bouncing off the Rochester player out of bounds. However, that ball must have came back and hit off of her as the Falcons get the ball.
Webb, bounce pass inside. Shot there by Williams, no good.
Webb with the extravagant pass perfectly to Williams as she was coming off her pick and rolling down to the basket. However, Williams just couldn't convert it.
Wishmeyer. Sullivan. Now to Van Heck in the paint. Has an open look. Does it.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Katie Van Heck knocks down that one.
Mouthful for that one, Danny.
Not really. Been saying this since I was a little one about yay high.
And that is stolen by the Dragons. Wiegers will be the one with it now. Wishmeyer. 40 seconds left. Shot there. Wishmeyer, I believe she's now 1 for 6 maybe.
It has not been a good night for Wishmeyer as she is coming out of the game for Jody McCaffrey.
Yeah, Wishmeyer just off her game, it looks like a little bit. Falcons with them now. 30 seconds. Webb. And that's stolen. Van Heck. They'll call jump ball. Doesn't matter. Dragons ball anyways.
Van Heck, tremendous. Doing what Playoff P did earlier in the game. As it looks like that's what the Dragons are trying to do defensively against these two big. When they get that entry pass, just go for the ball and get the jump ball call.
Uyghurs, 15 now. Pass there to Dinda. Fakes the pass inside, goes around, puts it up herself. No good.
Big shot there to close the quarter. 4 seconds left. Emily Hart gets the shot, but that's it. That's it. Sweet repeat. Triple try from Soleil Barnes. Look out. There's that NBA influence once again. They'll look to reset. Good pass. McCartney. They call it big shot now. That's a big one right there to stretch the lead to 6. Cross-court pass, wide open teammate. We talked about some foul issues earlier. Alexis Johnson, rather, she had 2 early. She's now sitting with 3 personal fouls. That could loom large. Meanwhile, Lolo Reed steps into a triple. They've got to get a stop and a conversion on the other end. Carney keeps her dribble. Nifty maneuver. And on a busted play, able to get a bucket underneath from Kiani Champion. Hey, there's the picture of composure right there. Lolo Reed back to Mallory McCartney. Willing to take a little bit more time on the clock. Great pass. Good look inside. And they got what they wanted. Kiani Champion. Nicely done. Perfect execution. Displayed the patience that we needed. Found to Cheyenne McKevins. Back over to Soleil. Good pass, inside out. I like that one. Great look underneath with the extra pass. Now, that's a good possession for Southfield A&T. This is a big basket. 3 minutes remaining. Here's some of the fans in here yelling, move, move. Nice knife through the lane from Cheyenne McKevin. Nicely done, but wasn't it?
Hawks can tie it with the 2. Tart going to the glass one more time.
Coast to coast, that was very nice.
Rusty driving all the way to the rack.
That was a beautiful handoff, and she attacked the basket nicely. Nice cut.
Bauer kicks. Another kick, open 3. Aylen missed it. Long rebound, and PW's got another shot.
That's a big offensive rebound. We didn't have any in the first.
Aylen, 2.
And that's the counter of that. If there is a collapse down on defense, then you got to find the open shot, and then that's what she did. She made it.
Great D by Jackson as well. Tart slows it up. Ryan Tart scored 5 points in the state semifinal game. Trashandra Williams, and she got the roll.
That was
Hun launches. Offensive rebound, another chance. Nuremberg driving. She finished left-handed.
You might want to throw a double team on Drusty because she's breaking him down too easily.
Oh, the rainbow three is down for Hannah Spitzley.
That was from deep.
PW has been close to this spot the last couple of years. Tart finishes on the other end.
Coast to coast.
She has 12 in this game. She has played fantastic.
And another steal.
Still scored on the double team. It's over. History in Grand Rapids. For the first time in program history, Bravo Westphalia has won a state championship in girls basketball.
But it's earned. It's not a gift. My bad.
Three is down. Alyssa Argyle knocks it through.
She needs to follow a shot from the baseline over there to get her offensive rebound.
Jackson on the go. My goodness, that's smooth.
That's a tough stop. And you'll see why she's number 9 in the country.
Blanchard out front. Caden just made a couple of free throws. Oh my goodness, the rainbow three is down for Lily Byer.
She was almost behind the table for that one. That was deep.
Byer launches. Argyle battling Jackson on the floor, and Rakia's got it. Starts the run out. Back to Elliott for 2.
I tell you.
Well, the debate will rage on for quite a long time. Was this Detroit Edison team the greatest in Michigan history? Their closing argument, a new scoring record in the Michigan State Finals, 77 points, and a victory over Freeland in a Division II championship.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Just before we get this,
Roch for Rochester.
We'll send it down to the sideline reporter.
Grandfather.
well, just before we get this third quarter underway, we're going to actually send it down to our sideline reporter with a special report. Ryan?
Thanks, guys. Rochester Junior Abby Pleasant's grandfather, Garth Pleasant, who is a member of the Michigan Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, is also his grandfather, of course, and he is hoping to rub off some of his basketball knowledge on her. Thanks. Back to you guys.
Well, actually, Pleasant is the only one here with having a grandfather be an excellent coach. Mr. Babcock, I think there's a LaPointe in the family?
Absolutely. My grandfather, Bob LaPointe, coached at Eastern Michigan back in the day. They were on the longest losing streak. His staff actually was hired as the interim staff. He was the interim head coach and broke that losing streak. So I know what it's like to have an elder in the family that rubs off their IQ of their sport on you.
And does it work?
I would definitely say it does. I would think I got a lot better, and I think that Abby Pleasant has also definitely improved a lot from her grandfather, Garth.
Well, back to girls basketball. Kylie Heck started this game and is yet to have minutes, I believe, out of the first half of the first quarter. Daniel, what do you think's going on there?
I think it's a lot of foul trouble going on, honestly. We saw a lot of fouls up. We saw a lot of fouls there in the first half by both teams. And that's just not good, especially when it's your star players. We also saw Maddie Everett sitting on the bench a lot for the Dragons, as I believe that both of them committed 2 fouls there in that first quarter alone.
No doubt about it, this has been a foul-heavy game. However, now in the third quarter, fouls reset. We're going to be looking at no bonus for a while, hopefully. Get a good, clean game of basketball. But looking back at this game, just 3 games ago here for the Dragons, 2 games for the Rochester Falcons. Dragons and Falcons were tied 16-16 at half. Then the Falcons actually running away with it, 45-25 being the final score. Danny, do you see the Falcons running away with it here in the second quarter, up 3?
I mean, I definitely think that it will be a close game because, we have Kylie Heck back on the court along with Maddie Everett. So I think that those two will help keep the Dragons close in the game. I don't think it'll be a runaway, but I do think that Rochester will still be able to starting to pull away a little bit from the Dragons.
Norgrove now at the top with Bright Shoe. That'll be a foul before the shot.
That's an early third from Maddie Ebert, and she is absolutely flabbergasted by that call.
At the line now, Alice Max. The freshman sinks the first one. Second one is also good. Ebert at the Dragon. Wiegers. Eblowski finds Heck in the corner. Ebert goes toward the basket. Met Max, and now a corner three by Heck. Almost close, but no cigar.
Rimmed it in and out. That is not a shot that you want to see if you're Kylie Heck, barely getting off the bench in the first half. You don't want to see that shot not go in.
Bright Shoe, her pass stolen there, finally reeled in by Heck. Now with Dinda with Wiegers. Wiegers, Dinda. Ebert. Blocked out of here.
That's that impact that Alice Max has down in the low post. Absolutely rejecting Maddie Ebert's shot.
Norgrove with opposition from Chloe Wiegers gets that one out of here. Now in the paint, Max. Hook shot, no good. And that'll be a foul here on Dinda. She knows it too.
The Dragons once again committing a lot of fouls, already their second here, and we're just over a minute and a half in.
First one. Trouble getting Arch on that one. Let rim and get out of here.
You already know, I will guarantee you that Pleasant has spent a lot of time in the gym with her grandfather working on these exact shots.
Doesn't prove to be useful as she's now 0-2 on free throws. 2 points total for her. Wiegers. She'll get caught. Looks to be by Abby Brightshoe.
Tell you what, Lindens, the referees tonight are really holding the basketball rule book to an extremely high standard as they're not letting anything fly.
No doubt about that one, Mr. Babcock. Ebert. Now with Wiegers. Bounce pass to Heck. Heck goes up off the corner of the square and in.
Kylie Heck showing why she's so dangerous while she's on the court. Definitely does not want to pick up any more fouls that will take her off, because she can be an absolute difference maker.
She has 4 points now after 2 early free throws. And that pass between the legs stolen. Ebert with it now.
Dinda knocked that one out. Extremely high basketball knowledge to go for that and knock it out back to her team.
Ebert toward the basket. No good. That is a foul again.
Heck was trying to get the ball out of the hands of the much taller Alice Max, who had it over her head. However, she got the funny bone instead.
That is Heck's third foul so far. She'll remain in the game. Webb. Now to Max. Back to Webb. Norgrove doesn't know where to put this. She'll give it to Max.
Fun fact about Stevie Norgrove is that she also has a head coach in her family. Her father, the head coach of the Stony Creek basketball team.
Dinda will steal that one for the Dragons. Corner three by Dinda. Ka-chow.
Dinda ties up the game with that corner three. Gets rewarded for her efforts on the defensive end with the open look.
Race. Trying to find a woman. She'll find a Webb. And that'll be a timeout here. Looks to be 30 seconds from Bob Bridges.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Lake Orion High School Dragon Broadcast Program. Stay up to date with us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit our website at www.dragonbroadcasting.org. Learn more about our classes, watch shows on demand, and check out our upcoming live broadcast schedule. It's all on our website. Thank you for tuning in all year.
Back in the third quarter, making their debut again is the Dragon here in the student section. Now, Daniel, I'm looking at his kicks there, and those shoes look a little familiar. I think I saw those in the WDBC broadcasting room.
Well, we were tipped off by an anonymous source about who was going to perform the Dragon, pull off the costume tonight. But however, I don't think that's information that we can share. You know, we want the kids at home to think that's the real Dragon, breathing fire. Who knows, maybe we can get a smoke machine out there for him too.
You're gonna need some improvement on the budget, maybe for that one. We're back underway with Race, passing it out to Robinson. Race takes a shot, no good. Rebound quickly and put back up. How about that, Alice Max?
Max, what a rebound and put back there.
Ebert thought about the three. Heck now to Dinda. Heck, contested three.
Heck really wanted that one to fall. Shot that in the face of Alex Max. That'd be a huge talking point in this game if she could have nailed that.
Peplowski taking one for the team, going to the ground, but gets the Dragons back the ball.
Huge foul drawn there by the Dragons. Peplowski getting a lot of high fives as she heads back to her bench. 4 efforts, putting her body on the line for the team.
Norgrove also heads to the bench for the Falcons. Dinda will get this one away to Uyghurs. Running out of time. Needs to get this one away, and that'll be off a Falcon. Just hitting her wrist right after Uyghurs lost it.
Natalie Race, livid with that one. She did not agree with that at all.
Ebert setting her lineup. Kowalczyk back in the game. Uyghurs to Dinda. Back around to Ebert. Ebert, Kowalczyk. Uyghurs gets rid of this one. Had Dinda under the basket, couldn't find her though. Kowalczyk. And it looks to be a timeout, 30 seconds from Bridges.
Stay in tune with the preps by listening to This Week in High School Sports on the MHSAA network, carried on nearly 100 radio stations and web audio outlets. This week features various sports, provides officiating insight on its Be the Referee segment, and closes with a weekly commentary. This Week in High School Sports can also be heard by visiting the homepage of the MHSAA website.
Bridges with a strategic timeout here. Dragons struggling to find a look. Danny, what do you think Bridges is coaching up on his team right here?
Well, I don't know what Bob Bridges is saying down there, but I'll tell you what I would be saying if I was Bob Bridges down there. They're clearly running a zone defense where they want to trap the player with the ball at the top, and there's one rule in basketball. If you're double teamed, someone else is open. So what they got to do is when they draw that double team, find that open player and get it to them.
We saw that just before the timeout as Dinda was open under the basket. However, not getting the pass from Ebert. Kowalczyk will lose that one as Robinson hits the floor for it. Webb with it now. Race stepped out. Dragons will get it back.
The official down on the baseline had the perfect view of that, so I'm going to trust his call down there. She did step out.
Everett cross half court. They are doing the double team look here on Uyghurs. Heck will be open in the corner. Ba-bang!
The Dragons take the lead back with that huge shot there from Kylie Heck. See, that's exactly what I was saying. When you're double team, someone else is open. Kylie Heck was open in the corner, and she made the most of it.
And they'll lose it there. Ebert, she hits the floor, and that's a foul call.
Foul was called there on, I believe, Kylie Robinson of the Falcons. Never mind, that was Alice Max who got the foul call. Her third of the game.
Uyghurs will throw this one in. Dragons with swinging momentum now with just a minute 35 left in this third quarter. Uyghurs long past the Heck. Tries it again. Knocked out of here. Kylie Robinson.
The Falcons know that Heck has had back-to-back open looks in that corner. She's knocked them both down. So Kylie Robinson hustling there to get that block.
Everett. Robinson almost. Uyghurs. And she'll get it. Wow. Robinson away. Right shoe tried that one. Now to Webb. Thought about the three. Loses the ball. Ebert. And that looks to be off a Dragon. Danny, I don't know about that one.
Both players dove for the ball. It looked like they had both touched it at around the same time. However, the refs are going to give it to the Falcons.
Definitely a close call.
Not one that Bob Bridges would agree with.
I don't know if there's been a lot of calls that Bob Bridges would agree with here tonight, Danny.
I believe that in every game, there are seldom calls that he does agree with.
Race. No good. Wishmeyer's back in the game, and she has it.
As Rasheed Wallace once said, ball don't lie. That ball did not go in because it was saying that it did not go in.
Uyghurs 360. Shooting two. Now that looks to be the freshman Alice Max's fourth foul.
Chloe Uyghurs, what an absolute move. Puts her in the spin cycle, Alice Max, and takes it right to the hoop.
Uyghurs, no good with the first one. As two more Falcons come in, looks to be Norgrove and Pleasant.
So we're gonna see Alice Max head to the bench. One more foul when she is out of here. And Coach Bill Thurston definitely wants to save her in the fourth quarter.
Second one changes the script. Webb. Just 30 seconds here in the third quarter. Down around to Norgrove. Back to Pleasant. We're looking at about 15 left. Williams at the LO. Right shoe. Back to Webb. Three, no good. Norgrove. Ball's rolling out of here. Robinson gets possession, and the buzzer expires with no woman with their hands on the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, Dragons have flipped the script up to 27-25. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
You know, Daniel, we do have a great view here from the booth. We don't see everything that happens, especially down at the student section. What Ryan Bunn does, we'll send it to him.
Hey, thanks, guys. Time and again, we've seen that the fans are a big impact here. That's not just about the team, it's also about the community. Especially here, it's Lake Orion Dragons fans. I also even spoke with the Dragon himself here, and he said, Dragon's gonna ball. Let's see if they continue to do that. Lyndon?
Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Lyndon Potter, Daniel Babcock. We're looking to get into this fourth quarter. Dragons up 2. Daniel, what a flip of the script.
Absolutely. And we saw there, Rochester had a chance to tie the game or take a lead right at the end with time winding down. But the Dragons faithful threw them off, started counting down from 5 seconds before there was actually at 5 seconds, forcing an early shot from Stevie Norgrove that did not fall.
See, we saw this 2 days ago against Stony Creek that actually forced the coach of Stony Creek to call a timeout. Excellent job by Dragon Faithful.
Dragon Faithful really out to play tonight.
Rochester Falcons, not too bad themselves. Student section, of course.
Players on the court as well, both playing tremendous games from both teams.
Sullivan, back in the game and back with it.
Grace Sullivan definitely trying to use her speed to get past all of these defenders and try to get to the hoop, or just use her vision.
She was met there by Brightshoe and gives it off to Wishmeyer. Wishmeyer. Good pass to Powalczyk. Wiegers puts it up. How about that one?
Wiegers looking like Magic Johnson, weaving through the defense and finishing with the layup.
And with that, it is now a 2-score game, up 4.
Huge momentum swing for the Dragons.
Especially late here in the 7th quarter. 7 minutes remaining.
We do see the Dragons put in their 2 stars to come into the game next, Kylie Heck and Maddie Ebert. They've gone on this run without those 2 players. That says a lot about their depth.
And a lot of this Dragon depth is from young players. 3 there. How about that one, Norgrove?
Stevie Norgrove missed this 3-pointer right at the end to take the lead, right at the end of the 3rd quarter, but doesn't miss that time. Absolute sharpshooter.
Wiegers tries to get a move on Robinson, won't have it. Sullivan back to Wiegers. Wiegers followed on her way to the basket.
You know what this game is reminding me of, Lyndon?
I don't, Danny. What is it?
It's reminding me of the good old-fashioned Celtics versus Lakers rivalries that we saw back in the 1980s. Both teams just gritty, want to score a lot of points, and want to play tremendous defense, and very evenly matched.
When you think Lake Orion rivalries, you don't normally think Rochester, you think Oxford, you're thinking Clarkson, but in girls basketball, playing 2 times a year, now with their 3rd game together, Rochester's proven to be a great rival.
Also, when you think of Rochester, you're not thinking of Lake Orion as one of their rivals.
And Ebert with the and one! Tripped on her way to the basket, does not stop her. She's going to the line.
Ebert, what a shot there. As she's looking like a prime Steph Curry, the absolute star of the team, driving to the lane. One of the best finishers around the rack.
Really changes the tide after Norgrove's 3. Puts Dragons up 3 now with a chance to make it a 2-score game.
Kylie Robinson checking into the game for the Falcons. As they want Robinson on Ebert, that's a matchup that they really do like.
Robinson's proving great at defense, showing off her height all game. And as a freshman, and that looks to be maybe a line violation.
As that's going to be another shot for Ebert. She missed that one, but now it can go in the books as a warm-up. Never mind, they're going to call the Dragons for the lane violation.
Thrown in. Now with Robinson. Loses it. Gets it back though. Race. Robinson now. Guarded by Van Heck. Tries to get that one, won't. Wiegers will switch in. Race.
The air ball chance once again raining down when Natalie Race has the ball.
It's been there since the early first quarter, and it has not blown away. Williams. Race. Now to Williams. Williams pivots, gives it away.
Williams passed up 2 open looks there. Clearly not confident in her shot this late in the game.
Race. Great opposition there by Heck. And she'll get called for a travel. Turnover. Dragons ball.
What a tremendous job there by the Dragons defense, forcing the turnover.
Wiegers now at the baseline. Who else to give it to than Ebert?
Ebert, the point guard of this team, the heart and soul. You already know that she's the playmaker, and she's going to be looking for Kylie Heck, and she's the sharpshooter.
Heck has drained a corner 3 in this game before.
Multiple, in fact.
Ebert at the OAA. Moves around. Wishmeyer to Dinda. Finds Heck under the basket, puts it in. Yes, she will.
We usually see Heck just switch the shots, but today she was lucky it was a Friday because the banks are closed on Sunday, but the bank was open tonight.
How about that one, ladies and gentlemen? Race. Williams now. To Norgrove and stolen, knocked out of here. Ebert read that one like a book.
This crowd is ready to erupt if the Dragons make another basket here.
Ebert switching up the offense, finds Wiegers with the change. Heck finds the lane, cannot go back to back. Williams. And a 3, Pleasant. No good, offensive rebound by Williams. She's fouled on her way up though. She's headed to the line.
Williams, I just mentioned a few minutes ago about how she was a little hesitant to shoot her open looks. The Dragons are sending her to the line. Let's see if her confidence has regained itself.
No pressure, but she does have the opportunity to make this a 1-score game. She won't, but can cut down the lead to 4.
Both teams making substitution. And that's Kylie Robinson checking in for the Falcons and Lexi Stroshine to match the size for the Dragons, or at least attempt to.
Now something Rochester has that Lake Orion struggles with is height. We'll see what happens with this rebound if she doesn't make it. Biting my words, she made it.
The bank remains open even on Rochester's end of the court. As Alice Max checks in for the Falcons. 4 fouls, something to watch out for there.
Ebert will give this one to Wiegers. Tripped up, and they'll call it. One and one now.
Dragons in the bonus with the Falcons having committed 7 fouls here in the second half.
Dragons only committing 4.
That's a lot of free throws to be shot for the Dragons already, as there's still 3.5 minutes almost.
And a lot of fouls to spare before the Falcons get a chance at the line. She will sink the first one.
Know that the Dragons are ready to attack now that they are in free throw range, and that one of Rochester's big players, Alice Max, has 4 fouls.
And Bob Bridges will immediately call a timeout.
The Dragons, they took the timeout, but they have been on an absolute tear here. Back-to-back free throws there, made by Chloe Wiegers, absolutely knocking them down.
Now something I love there was the assistant coach there telling Kylie Heck to back up. Don't even worry about getting this rebound because they know Wiegers is going to sink this one. I love the confidence the Dragons have. Now up 6, home stadium, district finals.
Now, Lyndon, this is something that the Lake Orion High School has not seen in a long time. That's one of their basketball squads make it to the district finals and win it. So I bet you that this place will be like Pompeii and absolutely erupt if they can pull this one out.
Now we've been talking about the fans here. Well, we haven't even mentioned the parents. Even on the parent side, you can't see it quite from the broadcast. It is on our side, but the parents have showed out as well tonight, almost packed on our side of the court.
Parents have been up on their feet a lot as well, along with the students.
The energy basketball games bring to the stadium, there's nothing quite like it, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you could experience it here. But we welcome you to the broadcast. Norgrove.
They really need a basket here. They're down by 6 points.
Robinson will give it to Race. Just 3 minutes left in this game. The pressure's on for the Falcons with the almost steal, put up and one. Alice Max, the freshman.
Safe Ed having to get the student section for the Falcons back into the stands as they absolutely went crazy for that basket by Max, and rightfully so. It was a great shot.
Cannot blame the Rochester Falcons fan club here.
Exactly what they needed for Rochester. A huge three-point play to make it a one-possession game once again.
Full court press coming out here for the Falcons. Wiegers finds Wishmeyer. She'll cross the line. Ebert at the LO.
Little bit of bump there from Kylie Robinson on Wishmeyer. No call, though.
Dinda to Ebert. Back to Wiegers.
Dragons really trying to slow down the pace of this game. They know that they have it in their hands.
Wishmeyer now.
Huge.
Struggling to find an open look.
Huge heads-up play there from Wishmeyer. She saw the double team coming and she kicked it to the open player, like I've said before.
Wiegers getting dangerously close to that half-court line. And that is a blatant foul. Something you see on the turf, not on the court.
That was a truck stick and a half right there by Stevie Norgrove. Looks like Taylor Dinda just got it off, just got up and wiped it off. No facial reaction from her, and she's just gonna go to the line and shoot a free throws.
Danny, I think I saw a similar move from you here on the football field this fall, am I right?
I mean, I was never the one getting truck stick, I was the one doing the truck sticking.
That's what I meant. Dinda will make that one. Now Dinda started not too hot from free throws. No good for the second one.
That one is all she needed, though, as that increases it to a two-possession game.
Webb. Robinson down to Race. Minute 45. Up with it, Robinson.
Kylie Robinson makes it a two-point game as there's a timeout called by Rochester.
Now going into the future, whoever wins this game will be playing at Fenton for regionals Tuesday on the 8th. The game will be at 6 p.m. and they are playing Clarkston, who just beat Waterford Kettering. Clarkston's now record is 16-6. And Daniel, they had a dominant performance over the now 12-10 Waterford Kettering.
Yeah, absolutely. Rochester, or the Waterford Kettering, excuse me, they're also a very good team. But I think Clarkston, they knew who they were going to play if they won this game. They knew that they might have a shot at Lake Orion, and that's all that they want. That's all that both of these teams want. They just want a shot to bash heads with each other. And if Lake Orion wins, then both teams are going to get that opportunity.
Now we know Bob Bridges is a day-to-day kind of guy, but you got to imagine somewhere in the back of his deep, extensive mind, Clarkston was on the brain.
It has to be. I mean, I know personally from being a Lake Orion football player, Lake Orion athlete, that those two teams, the team to the east and the team to the north, Clarkston and Oxford, they are always on, at least in the back of your mind.
Now, Dragons and Clarkston don't play each other in the regular season anymore. So a game in the postseason between those two rivals will be electric. You'll want to be there at Fenton.
Especially if the Dragon faithful will travel the way that they have today. advantage is coming to their own school.
Everett will be fouled there. Two-point lead right now.
As that is going to be the 5th foul on Abby Brightshoe. Rochester losing a huge player.
She's out of here.
Brightshoe, a senior, you know how that's not how she wants to end her career. She's hoping that her teammates can pull this one off.
Everett's no good on the one-on-one. Gets her own rebound and fouled again. She's headed back to the line, ladies and gentlemen. This time with 2 shots.
Foul called on Kyler Robinson, only her second. Rochester got a really lucky break there as Alice Max was not on that side, so she could not get her 5th foul and get out of this game.
Ever answers back.
Ever, she just needed another opportunity, and she's here for it. You already know, she's one of those players that has the clutch gene.
No good with the second one. Jump ball, arrow says Falcons.
I mean, that's one of the better case scenarios if you're the Dragons there. Obviously, you miss the free throw. You don't want to do that, but hey, it happens. So you miss it, and then you're expecting Rochester to get the rebound, but instead they don't, and you're able to force the jump ball to get the possession arrow back to you.
Just over a minute, and that ball is lost. Falcons keep it. Ladies and gentlemen, we knew we'd have a good game. Danny, did you think it'd be this good of a game?
I did not. I thought it was gonna be Rochester. You know, I thought they were gonna be a team who was holding on to a 2-possession lead, and every time that the Dragons would score, they'd just be the ones to answer. However, it's been the complete opposite tonight. Dragons seem to have every single answer to Rochester's quiz.
Looks to be a foul on Everett just recently. Everett with 3 fouls. Max in the paint. Rebounded by Dinda. That is a timeout.
A full timeout taken by the Dragons. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Lake Orion High School Dragon Broadcast Program. You can watch LOHS sports and events all year. That includes varsity softball, lacrosse, and soccer throughout the spring. It costs less than $11 per month to watch sporting events, and nearly half the subscription money goes back to our LOHS program. Tune in online at www.dragonbroadcasting.org.
Now this spring, Danny, I know there's a lot of buzz around Lake Orion lacrosse. We're going to have some live streams here at www.dragonbroadcasting.com. And if I were you at home, ladies and gentlemen, I'd want to tune in.
But first of all, I would stay tuned into this game because we have an absolute barn burner on our hands. An instant classic.
No doubt about that. We said it just on Wednesday. A Coliseum classic, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Dragons know, Bob Bridges knows there's no easy road to a state championship, especially with Stony Creek and especially with Rochester High School on your schedule. And it's being shown here on the court here in Lake Orion, Michigan.
You can tell that these girls from Lake Orion are used to the bright lights as they are scoring into the sea of white, very bright for them.
Full court. Wiegers gets it across the line. Now to Wiegers. 1 minute, over and back.
Interesting call. I'm not sure the exact ruling on the over and back, but Chloe Wiegers, she looked like she had jumped from behind the line and caught the ball before she landed over. And I think that's what they were calling. They're saying that her last step was behind half court.
Gonna have to check the MHSA rulebook after this one, but I'll trust the refs.
The refs have made a lot of calls tonight, definitely holding that rulebook to a high standard, so I'm going to have to assume that they know what they're doing.
Definitely got to do your studying for district finals, no doubt they did. Robinson, tough opposition, corner 3, race, air, ball, Heck, coming down the court, 35 seconds and another timeout. Excuse me, foul.
Natalie Race absolutely impacted by the airball chance coming from the Dragon student section as she airballs yet another shot.
Robinson now increases to 3 fouls on her. We are very late in the game. Doubt those will come in handy, but heck. Has one more chance to make this a 2-score game with time very minimal. It'll be hard to score once and then score again with Dragons not making any. Heck does it! Dragons up 4, 38, 34, 34 seconds left.
That is huge for the Dragons. 30 seconds is not a lot of time to get multiple possessions in, especially with the other team getting a shot.
Race with it and the air ball chance as well. Robinson. The 3 by Norgrove cannot find its way into the basket. 15.
Foul on Kylie Robinson, and they're sending Chloe Wiegers to the line.
Chloe Wiegers, great from the line all season.
That is the 4th foul on Robinson. Her and Max both have 4. One more foul from either of them, and they're out of here.
And Bob Bridges has put his most accurate lineup. Kylie Heck, Dinda, Wiegers, Sullivan, Ebert. These are players I want taking my free throws. Doesn't even matter who. And we have a timeout called.
Now, if I'm Coach Bridges in this matchup, here's what I'm doing. Chloe Wiegers sent to the line to shoot her free throws. I don't even care about those right now. We have the 2-possession lead with 15 seconds left. I'm taking all of my players off of the free throw line, off of the lane, and putting them in the backcourt so that they can get back and play defense.
All it is 15 seconds. A lot can change, but a lot can stay the same.
Now, Lyndon, here's my question for you. If these free throws do miss, and you are Bob Bridges, would you foul a Rochester player if they got the rebound? Because you know you have the 2-possession lead. 1 foul sends them to the line for 1-and-1 to get free throws. You have a chance to get the ball back again and waste even more clock.
I'll raise the question to you, Danny. I'll avoid your question and ask you, if the Falcons do get free throws, are they making them?
I think it depends on what players. I think if you get the ball to Alice Madge, she'll definitely knock them down. And I think if you get the ball to Stevie Norgrove, she'll knock them down as well. Natalie Race, not sure about. She does seem to be a little bit rattled by the Dragon student section.
12 does it again. Up 5, 15.8 left in the game. Cowabunga!
Ice in her veins. Chloe Wiegers knocks them both down, 6-point lead. The Falcons pretty much need a 3 right now. They get to Norgrove.
Norgrove will try for 3. Air ball once more. That is off of a Dragon. Will stay down here. And I gotta admit, Danny, looking down at head coach Bill Thurston of the Falcons, he's not too pleased right now.
Now, Lyndon, a quick callback here to Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles? So it looks like that's what we're about to witness from Bob Bridges winning his first ever district finals with the Lake Orion Dragons girls basketball squad.
Danny, I believe in miracles after watching that Stony Creek game. Stony Creek, the Cougars, one of the best teams I've seen thus far this season. And I've watched a lot of lady girls basketball, especially from the Lake Orion end.
Absolutely a huge matchup and a huge win if the Dragons can hold on.
We'll come back to the court here. This Dragon faithful is rocking the Coliseum, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if it quite shows on the camera, but if they start shaking, you know why.
Only one security guard to hold them back. That's not going to be enough to prevent the Dragons from absolutely mobbing the court.
Norgrove for 3. Can't do it. 3 seconds. Chloe Wiegers with the ball. Going toward the basket. Clock will expire. It's magical. Dragons win district finals.
What a performance by the Dragons. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in the season, and the Falcons could not do it. Court stormed by the student section.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot believe what I am seeing. Lake Orion started 0-2 against the Falcons in regular season. Now, 1-0 in playoffs.
Absolutely, and we're not even mentioning the biggest factor. This Dragons team is going to have a shot at their biggest rivals, the team from the East, that school all the way over there, the Clarkston Wolves in the next round.
Lake Orion Clarkston, the 8th, as the trophy will be handed off here to the Dragons pretty soon. Clarkston, Lake Orion, Danny, what a game. Clarkston obviously 16-6, as Bob Bridges now getting the crowd going. We'll help him out here. But yeah, what a game that'll be. Dragons know it's going to be down to the wire, just like today, just like 2 days ago. And what a performance, though, by these Rochester Falcons. Not a bad performance at all. And, of course, the last game for Abby Brightshoe, we saw her foul out. And the last game from Luli Talarico. Good thing for the Falcons, though, is they only have 2 seniors, one of them being very key. However, they will have a great lineup next year, as they have 2 great freshmen, Alice Max and Kylie Robinson, who I think played, if not 90% of this game.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for some foul trouble gotten by Alice Max, she probably would have been in the whole game. Dude, those 2 are absolute studs, and there are going to be tears falling down their cheeks right now. But trust me, they will be back next year with a vengeance.
Say cheese, ladies. This is one you'll remember for a lifetime. District Champs 2022. Thank you for watching this presentation of Dragon Sports. Today's game is a copyrighted presentation of Lake Orion High School's Dragon Broadcasting Program. Once again, the final score of tonight's varsity basketball game, Lake Orion Dragons 40, Rochester Falcons 34. On behalf of our entire broadcast crew and my partner Daniel Babcock, I've been Lyndon Potter. Have yourself a great night, everyone.